Perfect. We got Andrew here. Welcome to today's call, to this little case study interview. Please, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more, how old you are and what you do for work so people get a little bit more understanding on you and also your lifestyle.
Sure. Um, yeah, my name is Andrew Roach. I am an insurance agent, and I'm 27, Newport, Arkansas. That's basically it about me.
Awesome. Yeah, I just think I lost you a little bit here, but
Well,
all good. Yeah, the connection was cutting, but all
oh,
good. Yeah, good.
oh, sorry. Here, let me see if I
So,
can stand still.
yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Okay.
So Andrew and I have been working together now a little bit more than 3 months, and I'm going to ask you a few more questions around that, like about your experience over the 3 months, so that people can see like where you were before and where you were after. What would you say were some of the things that, you were having a little bit the challenge, you struggle with before you started with the kinetic method 3 months ago?
Yeah. Man, I just kind of constantly, gradually kept gaining weight. Being a business owner, there's a lot of stresses that are involved, and so I think it was just easy to um, not take care of other things that probably is obviously very important. Um, yeah, I just my physical health was not the greatest, not anything medically, but just I was slowly growing away from who I knew I was, and I did not like it. So that was really probably the biggest thing. Um, the the weight gain, and the stress factor of it, and I just didn't know a whole lot about food in general, just the science behind it. So um, yeah, that's probably the biggest the biggest thing that made me decide I need to do something here.
That's a great point with when you say made you decide that you need to do something. You know it from the program. A lot of guys in the program that I work with are like in their 40s, 50s. We get even two guys in their 60s. What would you say had you considering making a change at such a young age where most guys wait till, till the last moment until they draw the line where they say enough is enough?
Um, Probably just the family history. I mean, knowing my the way my dad and grandpa are, I just didn't want to. Which they're both business owners as well. I didn't want to end up with, um, health issues at a young age. And then also, I think it's just a friend of mine is who kind of got me introduced to you. And you can see pitches on the internet from people, and believe it or not, but whenever it comes as somebody personally, whenever they tell you, hey, this is a good deal, this is a real deal, then it holds a little more weight. So um, I think I just had enough of trying to go through the fads and the keto and this and that. So I just decided I was going to jump in and make the most of it.
Awesome. Yeah. Terry Terry brought you in or showed the progress and you brought yourself in. And
Right.
I agree with the trust that, when you see people on the internet, you never know, like, is this real or not? Because anyone can fake a photo and Photoshop it, copy and paste it, even videos with today's technology. So that's why also part of why we are doing this interview here today, that people can hear more about your experience. And you, you said you said you tried the diets and keto and other stuff, and you you did that and you want something real long term. What made you decide working with me? Was it just the results from your friend Terry, or was it something else that you said, hey, I should give this a shot?
I think it was more specifically designed around, um, I don't have 3 hours a day to go spend at the gym and things of that nature. So I think it was that for me, it was more specifically that it was geared toward not a super broad audience. It's more geared towards people who are, hey, I understand the situation. You know, you might have an hour a day that you can spend at the gym type of thing instead of, um, uh, instead of making it a I don't know, trying to burn you out on something. I think that the kinetic method is more of a realistic lifestyle that kind of coincides with how my lifestyle is. So I think that was probably the biggest thing, that it was specific instead of such a broad catch-all audience.
Great point. Yeah, you're a busy guy. So it makes sense that you don't have to become a gym rat and just live at the gym.
Right.
And would you say it was easy or hard, the middle, like the entire process?
Um, I don't really know if I can say it was either. I mean, there were certain parts that were easy. Certainly, whenever you're watching it fall off, the weight that is, and then there's parts that are frustrating, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily easy or hard. It's just a matter of commitment and willpower. So I think that the two of those, and combined with coaching from Morrow, is I mean, it's a commitment, but it's like anything else. If you hop into it and you're not willing to commit yourself, then it's probably not, probably nothing's going to work for you. But that's just my take on it.
I agree. Ultimately, a lot of guys who were watching this, and you as well, you know Tim Grover. He even said, like the coach of Jordan and Kobe and Dwayne Wade. He said, "Look, I can only be so great as the student is, and the same is with you. Like I can only be so good as long as or how much you commit to the process. If you don't do the work, I can't work out for you." So
Right. I
that's
agree.
that's a good point you're making there with the commitment. Let's talk about results. Everyone wants to hear results, results, results. Like what would you say were some of the results you got during the last 3 months? Now we talked about the weight before this
Mhm.
call, so we can start with the weight, and then you can share more about how you feel, perform, everything you want.
Yeah. Um, I think I was a little over 30. I think it was 32 pounds or so down in 3 months, and which obviously is important. But the bigger thing to me was body composition and the way I looked, and so I that has changed dramatically from the first pictures that we took, and compared to most recent. Um, and then even some of the things about the whole food deal. Even if you are eating healthy, quote unquote, um, if you're loading yourself up with carbs in the morning, things like that. I mean, you can get into more of the specifics, but there's just certain things that I just didn't know, had no idea about. So, little changes like that, they give you energy throughout the day. Um, that's really the two other than the weight, body composition and how how I feel and perform and stuff throughout the day, because it's just a physical job that it's a lot of mental. So you got to be sharp, and you got to be on top of your game. So I think that's probably the other than the weight, those are the two biggest factors that I've found the best results with.
So one, just to clarify, one is where you said being on top of the game in business, and the other
Mhm.
one is how you feel in terms of energy, or was there something else?
Just composition, body composition.
Okay,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's because when someone sees the scale weight, they think like, oh, I can achieve that as well. And truth be told, everyone can drop 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds, but how you
right,
look is totally different. Do you look strong or do you look like weak? And
right.
you look strong. So that's good. Yeah. And what would you say were some of the reactions from the people in your environment that saw you losing weight, like family, friends, partner?
Oh yeah, um, yeah, definitely family and friends. Um, get together on holidays and they'll they notice things. Even some customers that don't come in very often, they'll come in and they'll say you're looking good, and things of that nature. So it was a good feeling. But I mean, I knew I looked different, so I just knew people who hadn't seen me in a couple months would also notice. So that was a good feeling.
It is. It because you yourself you don't see it week to week, but people who haven't seen you for months, especially now with the pandemic that so many things were closed, like they see you and there's like a little shock from in a positive way with the transformation. So you kind of rewarding yourself in that way as well.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. And would you say that the kinetic method is something you can do for the rest of your life? More
Oh, absolutely.
beyond this, or you think like, oh no, I can't commit and sustain it forever?
Oh no, I mean there's a lot to learn in the beginning. Just a lot of information that I personally didn't know, but as you learn it, it's just a matter of repeating. So it's definitely something that you can continue doing long term. Um, but that there's a hurdle, there's kind of a learning curve there. But again, once you figure that out and understand what you're doing, it's easily repeatable. And it's even more. I believe it coincides more with a regular lifestyle because it's not, hey, dude, you had a birthday party this weekend and you had cake and ice cream. Shame on you, 50 burpees. There's a. It's just a. It's more. It's definitely a easy transition into regular life, and even from here forward.
Perfect, because that's important. If you can't
Right.
sustain it, then what's the point of even starting?
Yeah. No matter.
Uh-huh. Last question for you. For anyone watching this video and saying, okay, awesome results, nice to have with the weight, with the body composition, with how it spills over to work, to business, but they're still skeptical, they're on the fence, it's a stranger on the internet. What would you tell them?
Oh, I'm skeptical too, for sure. Um, but I think that's just human nature, and considering there are hundreds of internet gurus. Uh, I mean, I was skeptical for sure, but for anybody who is skeptical, um, I would urge you to do it. Um, Chances are you've spent more money on trainers and diet programs, weight loss programs, and you may have achieved results, but most likely have fallen out of that. So I would say if you are skeptical, I totally understand. I was too, but I'm glad that I decided to jump into it.
I'm glad as well. Yeah, thank you for doing this and sharing your experience. So yeah, everyone can see what you've been able to accomplish, and you're inspiring others. So thank you for having you on.
Thanks, Marl. Thanks for having me, man.